So start here. The first thing I want to tell you before we get going is that POD is short for print on demand. And I'll get on to what print on demand actually means in a moment. But throughout these videos, you're going to hear me call it POD, POD, and print on demand intermittently. So I wanted to let you know they all mean the same thing. Now we've got that out of the way, a very warm welcome to this POD 101 mini course. Whether you're a total beginner or have already begun your print-on-demand adventure, I'm sure there will be lots in here that will help you. Once you have worked your way through POD 101, I'm going to let you know how you can join the POD revolution with my help. Within the umbrella term of print on demand, there are many subdivisions. Perhaps you're only interested in one or a few particular products. Maybe you want to self-publish print books or ebooks. Perhaps you want a clothing collection, or maybe you fancy a home accessories line. Or you might be like me and just want all the things. As well as different products, there are different ways to get them out into the world. There are platforms, which are basically a big marketplace where your wares are listed alongside those from other podders. Ah, yes, podders. A podder is one who pods, a person who does print on demand. It's not an official term by any means, but you're going to hear me say it often. Examples of print-on-demand platforms are Redbubble, Amazon Merch on Demand, Spring, which used to be called Teespring, TeePublic, Zazzle, Society6, Spreadshirt, and there are many, many more. We will look at platforms in more detail in a moment. Now, the alternative to platforms is integrations. I tend to call them providers, as this is what they do. They provide the print-on-demand function on your own website or a third-party site such as Etsy or eBay. They do all the fulfillment just as the platforms do, but the customers buy from your own site or from the third-party marketplace instead of the platform. Again, we'll go into this further on in POD 101. All I ask is that you keep an open mind, even if you already know the area or areas of POD that you want to concentrate on. Save your designs when you've created them, as you might want to put them on other products or POD platforms or providers in the future. And as a side note, there's even a way of putting many designs on lots of POD platforms and providers all at the same time. This is called automation, and it will blow your mind. It does mine. So let's park that for now and get started on POD 101. Before we get going, before we move on, I just wanted to let you know a little about me and why I believe I'm in an ideal position to tell you about all this POD stuff. I'm Jo, and I'm a serial podder. As a former successful sales executive, sales coach, life coach, and custom printer, everything came together for me when I discovered print on demand. A field sales rep for over 25 years, I know a thing or two about selling. As my sales career progressed, I coached others to succeed in sales until eventually I felt the need for a new challenge. This is when I trained to become a life coach, joined an international speakers club, and started my first e-commerce business, all while still driving 30 to 40,000 miles a year in my day job. So with a young family too, this was all impossible to sustain, and inevitably something had to give. Having had 3 children in a little over 2 years, childcare costs were astronomical, and being out on the road all the time was totally impractical. My health was suffering too. Having more time at home, I then started to write and publish short stories as ebooks on Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing, or KDP. Later, Amazon added in the facility to create print books too, and so I progressed to uploading merrily away onto Amazon KDP, and my books were selling internationally via Amazon. It was like magic. I uploaded my book and a cover that I'd created on Canva, and when a customer bought it, it was then, and not until then, printed, packed, and shipped to them directly. I didn't have to do any of it, which freed me up to be with my family and also do the part I loved, the creative part. At this stage, I had no idea this new concept would grow and become not only a huge part of my own life, but also a worldwide phenomenon. Now, during my sales career, I had often been asked by customers if my company could supply branded clothing. My newfound creativity was firing my imagination, and before long, I'd invested in an assortment of cutting and printing machinery so that I could offer this service. It was laborious, barely profitable, and impossible to scale the business. I was either trying to sell the print service or doing the printing myself, often throughout the night. Then, one day, I discovered there were places out there that would do the printing part for me, places that had far superior printing equipment than I could hope to purchase. Not only that, they had facilities worldwide. No more international shipping for me to contend with. I showed one of my print customers, and she was absolutely blown away with what was possible. It was way beyond hoodies, polo shirts, and mugs. There are hundreds of products that can bear a print, and it can be embroidered too. The best part for me was that someone else would have to get the design onto the item again and get it straight. Someone else would be burning the midnight oil, and I would no longer be burning myself on my heat presses or dashing to the post office to catch it before it closed. I apologise if this all sounds rather baffling. Now stay with me for the rest of these videos and all will become clear, I absolutely promise. As my passion for print on demand has grown, my obsession has benefited all the people I have gone on to train and help with their own journey. I'm active on so many pod sites, I've started to lose count, and I sell books, clothing, accessories, homewares, jewellery, and even furniture globally without needing to step outside my own front door. Isn't it time you did too? So what is POD? Well, POD is short for print on demand. It is a revolution in the custom printing world, and I should know because I used to be a custom printer with a Cricut cutting machine buzzing away all day, every day, cutting out vinyl, and a sublimation printer doing the more intricate jobs that the vinyl couldn't handle. Then there were the 4 heat presses I got through. Yes, 4. If none of that means anything to you, then lucky you, because it was a hot, pretty much thankless headache of a task, printing from home with my little cottage industry. When I discovered print on demand, I was set free. I was able to do the fun bit, the designing, and then add it to various places and let someone else do all the rest. Let's look at that more closely. I create a design on Canva or the design software. It could be a slogan, a cartoon, a photo, anything. I add it, also known as upload it, onto a specially designed site, Redbubble, Spreadshirt, TeePublic, Zazzle, Printful, Printify, etc. I choose which products to put it on and tweak it to make sure the position of the design is where I want it to be placed on the product. I can promote it to help improve my chances of getting sales. And some sales will come incidentally, where customers happen across my product and decide to buy it. When a sale is made, the order will go directly to a fulfillment centre, a large facility that stocks the blank products and has all the expensive print and embroidery machinery. The fulfillment centre is poised, ready to spring into action, fulfilling your order. There isn't just one fulfillment centre, though. They are all over the world, which means there will be one that's the nearest one to your customer. This is the one that will process your customer's order. So we're not having to print and pack the orders ourselves or rush to the post office to send them out. This not only makes your life easier, but it's also better for the environment, less international freight moving around the world, and less wastage because each product is printed to order. So who is POD actually for? Well, when I started Branded and Covered, I wanted to bring print on demand services to business owners and entrepreneurs as a way of them increasing their visibility with branded merchandise. And that sounds great, doesn't it? In fact, it has been great too, with businesses large and small now selling their own merch lines. However, I soon realized that many of our customers were running their pod in the more traditional way as a sideline to bring in an extra revenue stream. Sometimes these side hustles would be relevant to their existing ventures, and some would be completely different. Some would go on to make podding their main focus. Let's face it, that's what happened to me too. All of this leads me to conclude that actually Pod is for everyone and anyone. You just need internet access and something to access the internet on. Even if you're in the fortunate position of having far too much money, Pod is a satisfying way to spend time. I personally pod when my other half is watching Lord of the Rings or Jaws for the umpteenth time. It makes me a nicer, more patient person because instead of fighting for the remote control, I get totally absorbed in my creative world, designing and uploading away to my heart's content. So, do you have to be an amazing artist or be massively creative to be able to succeed in print on demand? No, not at all. While I'd love to be artistic, I'm afraid I'm not. What I do have a knack for, though, is hearing or reading a catchy slogan or phrase and thinking, that'd be great on a t-shirt, mug, notebook, etc. I quickly jot it down or take a photo of it, ready for my next podding session. I also do a fair bit of research as to what's selling at the moment and in the near future. More on that coming up. Now, if you really do want to create beautiful imagery and yet don't have the skill or the time, you can cheaply and easily find someone to do it for you on Fiverr. It's a straightforward process, and some of the work on there is absolutely superb. I have commissioned work from Fiverr to use for Pod and was very impressed with the resulting images and the sales they translated into. Now, we do have a further way of creating incredible images, AI, artificial intelligence. Is Pod too good to be true? An introduction to my theory of ACPIS. I can totally understand why you might think this all sounds far too good to be true. As Knuckles McGinty says in Paddington 2, people tend to do nothing for nobody. And generally, if something is easy or doesn't require a massive investment, we tend to think it's got to have a drawback somewhere. An investment, yes, but not in the way I suspect you're imagining. The investment you have to give is your time. You may have heard me mention an ACPIS. This stands for Almost Completely Passive Income Stream. And the key here is that almost. Everything needs some kind of down payment. It may not be financial, and with Pod, it's your time. When you stop and think about it, is anything really a completely passive income stream? You always have to set something up, done a little homework, in order to reap the rewards. With print on demand, you have to create the design and upload it. That's all. That's the bit you have to do. Of course, initially you have to set up an account with the pod supplier, and there are ways to encourage sales, such as sharing on social media or running advertisements. You can also spend time researching what to create. But essentially, there is nothing to stop you getting images and slogans on worldwide sale. So why wouldn't you? Of course, your time is a really precious commodity, so it's important to note that by spending a bit of time at the beginning, the whole point of Pod is that we then pass all the rest of the work on to someone else. This means that even though we do need to invest some time as orders and repeat orders come in, it all happens without us having to do anything at all. You could say we're initially spending time to save time in the long run. Customs charges and taxes. So the customer is unlikely to face any customs charges, as very often the goods are going to be sent from within their own country. Note that I'm not saying they will never face customs charges. I cannot predict that for certain, and neither can you, so don't promise your customers that. Some states in the US, for example, have very specific rules, and also some products will be fulfilled in the customer's own country, and some of the more obscure ones won't. They might be fulfilled in another country, albeit the nearest possible. Thus, you cannot guarantee that there will never be customs charges. I would always recommend browsing through the customs policies in the destination country when sending anything physically yourself internationally. In the UK, we've got the HMRC Revenue and Customs, but note that I say physically yourself. By this, I mean quite literally taking it to the post office or handing it to a courier. So POD takes this headache away from us. My first job after uni was in export admin, and it can be a soul-sucking monotony of form filling and faff. We also need to think about how your income from print on demand is going to affect your taxes. Do you do a self-assessment tax return? Do you already have an existing business? Whatever next? Well, thank you for watching this small collection of POD 101 videos. I hope you've thoroughly enjoyed them and they've helped to make sense of the wonderful world of print on demand. But where do you go from here? Don't worry. I'm not going to abandon you to the wilderness of the World Wide Web yet. Keep an eye on your inbox and make sure you whitelist my email. For now, though, I'm going to leave you to absorb everything you've just watched. Bye for now, and much love. See what I did there? So what is possible? So now we know a little more about the how and why with POD, but just what can you do with print on demand? Well, the best way to find out is to get started. No matter how much I try to describe how you take an image and magically add it to lots of different products, there's nothing quite like that moment when you first see it happen with something you have created. You'll need to decide where to start, though. Don't necessarily limit yourself to just one area of POD. I know it all seems overwhelming at first, but you might well find that once you get started with one thing, such as self-publishing notebooks on Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing KDP, or clothing and accessories with Redbubble or wherever, you branch out into other areas. Just take it all in your stride and it will soon make sense. Niches, trends and researching. So what is a niche? Niching down is a great way to find a loyal, dedicated fan base. They might not be the biggest group in the world, but they are passionate about their thing. And this thing is a niche. Here are some examples. Coffee lovers, tea lovers, gin lovers, cat fans, dog fans, cricket fans, country music fans, classical music fans, trance music fans, electric fan fans, odd sock fans, and you get the idea, right? I'm sure you do. Now we can take this further and cross niche, and the level of fandom rockets even higher. Consider coffee lovers who are also cat fans. If they see something with a cute cat and a mug of coffee on it, they are going to be far more tempted to buy it, aren't they? We can go another step too. How about coffee lovers who are cat fans who find it really amusing to always wear odd socks? Design something with elements of all three, and these people will really feel like you know them. You have designed the perfect mug, t-shirt, etc., and they simply have to have it. Consider the gift market too. If you know someone who is a tea-guzzling country music fan who is crazy about their dog, and you see a mug that has all of these on the design, you are really going to want to buy it for them when you see it and not miss the opportunity to tick all of their boxes. Of course, we can take this cross-niching to extremes, but at some point there will be such a small market out there, it won't really be viable, so don't take it too far. Trends. In the pod world, we tend to use the word trends to mean pretty much anything that is popular now or in the near future, in the same way as we do in social media. It could be a political design based on a gaffe some politicians just made, for example, or it could be based on an event like Father's Day, St. Patrick's Day, or Christmas. Try to create trend-based designs well in advance, about 6 to 8 weeks ahead. This seems rather premature, but on some pod sites, your products won't go live straight away. Also, your pod products will be searchable on search engines like Google. You need to give the search engines time to notice your products so that your customers can find them. Ideally, you will want your items to be reaching as near the top of the first page of Google, etc., as possible. To do this, we need to do SEO, search engine optimization. And we do this by using words that we anticipate our potential customers will type into the search engines when looking for products like ours. This can be individual words, known simply as keywords, and short phrases, known as long tail keywords. The trick is to find keywords that our customers are likely to use but aren't so obvious that all the other creators have used them, because then we have got too much competition and we won't get spotted, will we? Now, there are various apps, Chrome extensions and websites that can help us with this. I will add my keywords video to this POD101 course next so that you can find out a little more. Researching. There are also lots of apps, Chrome extensions and sites to help you research what niches or trends to concentrate on. With Chrome extensions, you simply search for it in Google, etc., and then click to download it. It stays on your computer and springs into life when required. When you find a website research tool that suits you, save it as a favorite so you can easily reach it. You can also do research by typing into the search bar of search engines and simply seeing what comes up first. If you want to delve more deeply, go to trends.google.co.uk/trends or .com or wherever, and you'll also see a timeline. Amazon, as we all know, is the world's biggest marketplace, so it's a great place to do research. A fantastic Chrome extension for this is DS Amazon Quick View. It shows lots of information though, and can get really annoying when you're trying to shop on Amazon yourself. Keywords. Using relevant keywords is vital if you're going to set up your store as open to the public and want your products to be found in online searches. So what are keywords anyway? Keywords are the words that customers type into the search bar when they're looking for something to buy. The search engine, marketplace or store will then offer the customer suggestions of items that meet the customer's criteria based on the words they typed in. As sellers, we want to find the keywords that are searched for so that our potential customers can find our products. Well, that sounds easy enough, Joe. Yeah, right. The problem is that obvious keywords will be used by so many other sellers that our products will be way down the list and unlikely to appear on page 1 of Google, for example. Think about the searches you do when looking for something. Realistically, how often do you look further than page 1? Whilst it's tempting to use the words that we ourselves would use when searching for a particular product, consider how many times those predictable words will have been used, which will mean your listing will be hidden behind all the others. To give our products a better chance of being found, we need to find low competition keywords that are making sales. Fortunately, there are a variety of tools available to help us find them. Some of them are free, some have a small fee, and others are extremely expensive. Most of the pricier keyword tools do offer a free trial period, so do consider signing up for the free trial, but remember to cancel before your first subscription. This is particularly useful if you're only going to be uploading a set number of designs, or if all your designs are based around a particular theme or niche. You can build up your own spreadsheet of relevant keywords ready to use when required. I've used moz.com, which gives you 5,000 searches, even in the free trial period. I spent a couple of days building up a list of keywords that I now use regularly. Play around with different words and phrases. Now, phrases are known as long tail keywords and can be really specific to narrow it right down. Often removing or adding a simple S on the end can make all the difference. When you find one keyword, copy and paste it into the search bar of the keyword tool to discover other related words and phrases. All are straightforward to use and will have help or support to assist you. RFs, Keyword Explorer, Answer the Public, Flying Research, keywordtool.io, Helium 10, Keywords Everywhere. Please note, I haven't personally used all of these. I have, however, seen many excellent reviews of Keyword Tool.io, RF's Keyword Explorer, Helium 10, and Keywords Everywhere. Designing for POD. Designing for print on demand is very specific. You need to make sure your design will be able to be scaled up so it can be printed on bigger items and still be crisp and clear. Make sure you watch my How to Design Magic Merch video, the next lesson. But the main points are: set your units to pixels when starting a project in your design software, such as Canva. I recommend custom sizes 4999 by 4999 pixels or 4500 by 5400 or vice versa. When you've created your design, save it as a PNG with a transparent background. You'll see why in the How to Design Magic Merch video. For clothing, consider that black t-shirts sell far more frequently than any other colour. So with this in mind, would it be prudent to do a design that will work better on a dark shirt than a light one? Or you could even do a version with a slogan in a light colour for dark backgrounds, and then save another one with a slogan in a dark colour for light backgrounds. When setting up your account with whichever pod site you choose, you'll usually need to create an avatar, a bio, and a shop banner. The avatar is your small profile image, and the banner is just like a sign above a store. Each site has its own specific site requirements, so just go from their instructions or see the relevant Podstart video course. Hi, I'm Jo from Branded and Covered, and I've also been given the nickname the Pod Queen. So what I want to share with you in this video is how you can come up with designs that are going to give you gorgeous products. These tips are tried and tested not only from my passion for design and print on demand, but also because of my previous life as a custom printer, doing the physical part that I now have cheerfully been relieved of. Now someone else does all that with the glory of print on demand. Now, whether it's branded products that will delight your clients or you're looking to design for a worldwide audience, there are some important and not always so obvious elements to consider. So first of all, you're going to need some design software, and even if you're planning to make all of your images super crisp, high quality photos, you're going to be needing to resize them for various shaped items. Like many business owners and individuals, I adore Canva. Other design software includes Photoshop and Photopea, nobody knows, which is like a free scaled down version of Photoshop. Just a side note regarding Canva, its pro version does have a monthly fee of roughly about £10, but it will give you a lot more design elements to play with than the free option. And also, you're going to be able to save your work with a transparent background. I'll tell you why this is necessary in a moment. Now, before we get on with the fun designing part, we need to do a little planning. Have the following straight in your mind or written down. Who are you designing for? Who is your audience? Are you wanting products for your business audience, your clients, your potential clients? Or are you planning to sell to the broader marketplace, open to the world? What age group are your audience? Which products are your designs going to go on? Are you planning to put it on many different products, or just t-shirts, just shower curtains, just baby clothes? Are you going to follow trends? Design for big events like Christmas, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, etc. Are you going to be doing that? Are you going to design for a specific niche? Avoid trademarks. And finally, and most importantly, is this going to be something people will want to wear, to have in their homes? These things will give you a foundation to work from, and there are valid reasons for all of those questions. Who? So this will affect the sort of design we create. If it's for your own client base, you will want to keep it all on brand. The colours, the messaging. Are you going to use your brand colours? If so, make sure you have the hex codes, those hashtag and 6 digits, to hand. And it sounds obvious, but if you're designing for children, avoid swear words, references to alcohol, sex or drugs. Rock and roll's okay though. So which products? Would something that goes on a duvet cover suit a clock face? Maybe not. We can work with one standard size and then tweak it to position it, or use Canva, etc. to resize the design to suit the product. Following trends? Think ahead at least 4 to 6 weeks, or longer if it's for Christmas. It takes a while for products and offers to gain momentum online and therefore get in front of people. Niches. Here's a tip to find what people are searching for on one of my favourite print-on-demand sites, Redbubble. You don't have to be signed up or logged into Redbubble to do this. Go there, redbubble.com. Click on the grey search bar at the top. You'll see there's a section called Trending Searches that opens up, and there are jagged arrows that point upwards. These show that these are trends that are on the up. Want to get more specific? Type into the search bar any letter, for example C, and this is what's trending, beginning with letter C at the moment. Or you could type a keyword. Try dog, and you'll see what's being searched for most by dog fans. Then go forth and design with this information in mind. Is it something people will want? Will it be going on clothing? If so, would anyone want to wear it? If it's offensive, will Auntie Daisy be horrified by it at the dinner table? That doesn't mean you can't design something offensive if that's your audience, but be aware of it. Is the design relevant to the product? A slogan such as "This is my hideous Christmas sweatshirt" can only work for a sweatshirt. Hands off this coffee mug won't work on a phone case or a clock, etc. So let's look at design specifics. Colours. Use colours that complement each other. Maybe they're tones of the same colour. Maybe they deliberately clash. Maybe they bring each other's vibrance out. Here in Canva, there's some useful information all about colours. Click colours down here at the bottom. Even if you're not going to use Canva, this is really useful stuff. With the palette generator, you upload a picture and it will give you the hex codes for the dominant colours. Colour palettes show you batches of 4 colours that go together well, and you can add one colour or a descriptive word to find relevant palettes. The colour wheel shows you colour combinations. Colour theory is a big thing, so have a read through all this at your leisure. Finally, colour meanings and symbolism. Ever wondered why brands pick certain colourways? Is it purely the CEO's favourite colour? Perhaps not. There's usually much more to it than that. They go into the psychology behind those colour choices. Size. Size, as it is so often said, is everything. Create your designs in a big enough size so that if they are put onto huge products, the image can cope with it and not pixelate. You can always reduce it, but if you're planning for these designs to ultimately go on actual physical products, you want them to be as crisp, clear, and gorgeous as you intended. So let's start off with a big square, 4999 by 4999 pixels. That's a random number, Joe. Yes, but it's the biggest square Canva canvas we can have. So let's use it. If you know you are only ever going to want a rectangular canvas, you can use 4500 by 5400 pixels. But the majority of products and designs, a square suits better. It's more universal to work with. Remember to change the unit to pixels, px. And what we're looking for is a DPI, dots per inch, of 300 as a minimum. On all design software, you will find the various elements you can add and the things you can do around the edges of the canvas, usually on the left-hand side. On Canva, we can upload our images, add text or elements, or choose from their photos. Now, if you use any of their images or photos, make some sort of change to them. This is because of their licensing rules. You can find out more about that here. But also, you should create something unique, something novel. Make it your own. Fill that space. Remember, you can always reduce it later. Imagine seeing your finished product on sale as if you were your ideal customer. You are looking at a sea of small images of all the products available, all those thumbnails, those little pictures. You draw to the one that's difficult to make out. Is it a small, complicated thumbnail image and so it all merges together? Or are you drawn to the one that's got big, bold, clear design that's more appealing? Don't put a background colour in. You can add one to help you visualise what it will look like, of course, but when you are finished, save it as a PNG and tick the box to have a transparent background. In the world of print, there are 2 distinct application methods: surface and all over print, AOP. AOP products mean literally that your design will cover the whole area. By saving your design with a transparent background, you are going to be able to add the background colours later. With surface print, you probably won't want to have a big block background like in this example. For surface prints, try to avoid narrow, spindly fonts or design elements. Think about a hoodie with a fine, swirly thin print. How many wash cycles will that print survive? Make it thicker, and it will have a larger surface area to give it better adhesion. With all over print, that's not an issue, as the print will be done as a whole. Though remember, we want it to show up in those thumbnails. For clothing, there are some design formats that endure. These are an arch sandwich, perfect for 3 to 5 words. 2 lines, graphic, 2 lines. Big image, 1 line. Now this works really well for stickers too. The athletic layout, 2 to 3 words plus dates. Text on the right or the left, great for tall images or ones that you might want to cut in half and have longer phrases. So hopefully now you're brimming with ideas. What we do at Branded and Covered is we take those wonderful designs, whether they are images, slogans, photos, your brand images, brand messaging, whatever they are, and we load them on to lots of different products, which are then available for your ideal clients to buy or the world at large. When they do, the order is sent to a fulfillment centre geographically close to them to be printed and shipped, and you receive the profit, the royalty, from that sale. This is the crux of print on demand, POD. It's an excellent way to create your own merchandise collection, and it's almost completely passive as an income stream. You design, you upload, you sit back. Though telling people about your fabulous products on the socials, etc., is obviously going to help drive sales. You can find out more on our website, www.brandedandcovered.com, and I will leave you all to it, but do contact me at hello@brandedandcovered.com if you've got any questions or queries. Thank you so much for joining me and watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the Facebook group. Let's look at platforms and providers. Platforms are one-stop shops where potential customers can go along and see an array of products for sale, all emblazoned with unique images and slogans from the various podders who have uploaded their designs. These marketplaces are great for finding gifts or something a bit different from what you'd find on sale in the mass market. Potential customers are generally willing to spend a little more than they would for something more run-of-the-mill. Having so many items together gives the audience a destination, a go-to place to find something to buy. This means that the platforms are doing a lot of the work for us. They will advertise and promote their products for them. After all, the more sales your products make, the more they profit too. There is a drawback with platforms, which is that they want to make as many sales as possible, so they will actively promote designs and products that are already making sales, because they will have seen that they are popular and likely to get more. Helpful for us when we're trying to research what to design, but not great for helping our new uploads to get traction. Also, we might share our fabulous creations on social media and attach a link so people can go and buy them, only to hear from them later on that they weren't on there and they saw something they liked better, so they bought that one instead, if they even admit it. On the platforms, your potential customers see not only your pieces, but everyone else's too. Platforms are also super cautious about what goes on their sites. While I don't for one moment suggest you're going to be ripping off someone else's designs, Platforms have automatic systems in place to check designs, particularly when you are new to their platform and uploading your first view. And they can be ultra picky. For example, I once uploaded a generic picture of a camper van with a sunset behind it, just the silhouette of the van with a surfboard and a palm tree. I uploaded it onto a few platforms, and several came back to me saying that it was a VW camper van. It wasn't, but it was close enough to make them twitchy about being sued by Volkswagen, and so they removed it. Their bots also can't differentiate between something that is trademarked by somebody else from something that is trademarked by you yourself. Redbubble in particular will pick trademark designs out. So if you're uploading to Redbubble, avoid anything that's trademarked, full stop, even if it's your own. Platforms can and will delete your creator account if you infringe their rules beyond the odd beginner's mistake. What a waste of all your time if that happens. And once you're gaining traction and getting sales, you really won't want it all to end. Here's a graphic showing you how print on demand works with platforms. The lady on the top left is you, uploading your design onto your chosen platform's website. Once it's live, your customer sees it and makes their purchase. The platform will notify you of the sale, but you don't need to do anything. No, you can switch these notifications off on most of the platforms if they start to drive you crazy. Meanwhile, the platform will also have received the sale and will pick the blank product from their stock of them and get on with printing, or in some cases embroidering, the design onto it at their fulfillment center. The platform will have allocated the job to whichever of their fulfillment centers is closest geographically to the end customer. Once it's ready, they'll pack it and ship it straight to the customer. You earn money from this as a royalty. Royalties from platforms are the price the customer paid minus fulfillment costs, i.e. the cost of the blank product, the printing or embroidery, and the platform's own profit. On most platforms, you can set the prices so you can determine how much you will earn on each sale. Beware though, remember your products are shown along other people's, so don't put your prices up too much or you will send potential customers to your competition. Remember, the more sales you make, the more you will earn in royalties. Aim to sell more products as it will all add up and make the platform want to promote your products when they see you making sales. Most platforms pay out once a month, and some have a minimum threshold. Almost all platforms are free to join, but some have an elite version where you can pay a monthly subscription to be able to choose products with a lower base price, meaning you earn more per sale. I recommend starting with the free ones, and don't think that by being free, they're any less incredible or worth doing. Redbubble, my usual go-to for beginners, have recently added a system whereby most of their podders pay a percentage of their royalties as fees. You'll be able to find out more about this in the Podstart Redbubble course. It means that you will earn less, but even so, Redbubble is still an excellent place to start. And as you progress, you might be moved over to another level where you no longer have to pay these fees. The great thing about most of the platforms is that you only ever receive money from them. You can never, therefore, make a financial loss from them, even if you don't sell anything. They also handle customer service and cancellations. In fact, you never actually see the customer's contact details. Providers or integrations. Providers are a bit different. The POD principle is the same, but there is no open marketplace unless you have decided to link your provider with Etsy or eBay, of course. And your chosen provider or integration gives you the opportunity to sell print-on-demand products via your own website. This could be a shop tab on your existing website or a full e-commerce web store in its own right. Many of the website companies give you the ability to integrate with pod providers such as Printful or Printify. Ones that do include Shopify, Launchcart, and Wix. Because your website is your own territory, the buck stops with you. You have to be careful not to infringe on other people's intellectual property, i.e. copy their designs or use their trademarks. So there's no one there to monitor you. On the upside, this gives you more freedom. Also, visitors to your website shop won't be bombarded with other people's stuff. So once you've got them there, they are your audience. It is, of course, up to you to get them there in the first place. The other difference with providers is that the customer's payment will come to you directly. You will receive their contact details too. If there is any issue with the order or their product, the customer will contact you directly to sort it out. This could be via your website or the third-party sites such as Etsy. As soon as the order is received by the provider, they will take the fulfillment costs from you. This means that usually that payment has been taken before you have received your payment from the customer, due to the delay in payment gateways such as Stripe or PayPal have in place. Be prepared for this. Also, it's up to you to make sure you are charging a high enough price to be able to give you a profit on each sale, not a loss. Whereas with platforms, you can never be in a minus situation. You don't have that safety net with providers. You do have more control with providers than with platforms. You can add further images and often videos to your product listings. You can write more in the product descriptions too, making your items more visible to search engines. Most providers allow you to add an image to your packing slips and put a thank you note in with the packages. This graphic is from the Podstart Launchcart course, and you'll see it's slightly different from the platform one. I feel your pain. This probably all sounds mightily confusing, but once you get going, you'll see it's all manageable, I promise. Here's a POD101 checklist to help you get on your way. POD101 checklist. Number 1. Join Canva Pro or similar design software. Even if you are planning to use photos as your designs, you will want to be able to resize them. You will need to be saving your designs as PNG files with transparent backgrounds, so we'll need the Pro version of Canva, not the free one. Alternatively, though, you can stick with the free version and use a background remover afterwards, but you are creating extra work for yourself. 2. Set your design units to pixels and use the sizes 4999 by 4999 pixels, the biggest Canva will allow, or 4500 by 5400, or vice versa. These sizes are great for most designs on most products. 3. Save designs as PNG with transparent backgrounds, unless having the background will suit the product design. 4. Choose which pod platform or provider you want to use and open your account with them. 5. The fun part, uploading. 6. Tell people about your products. Share the links on your social media. Tell family, friends, and followers. The more eyes on your products, the more sales you're going to make. Don't delete your designs straight after uploading onto your first pod provider or platform. You might want to use them again for a different pod site, or use them to make book covers, for example. Do save them somewhere. You'll be able to find them again. So what is uploading? You've heard me use the term uploading rather a lot in this POD101 mini training course. So I thought I'd show you a few examples of me uploading designs onto various different print-on-demand platforms and providers as I think it's probably the best way to explain it and show you what's possible. So here's a montage. Pod sites I used in there include Redbubble, Spreadshirt, Printful, Launchcart, Amazon KDP, Amazon Merch on Demand, Society6, and more. Just imagine all of this and more with your slogans, images, cartoons, photos, artwork, ideas.